everyone, it's Lenaire here, back with the first of my Lenaire Reviews videos. I'm very excited. So I wanted to spend my first video today talking about a movie that I went to see yesterday called Finding Dory. Yes, I love going to the movies and I love Disney, so I tend to go to most Disney movies. Okay, that's not true. I haven't been to the last two animated Disney movies at all. Just not interested. But this one, Finding Dory, I definitely was. I love Finding Nemo. It's one of my favorite Disney movies. The only thing missing is there's no music. But, other than that, I really like it. So, of course, I was going to go see this one. So we went yesterday and I went to a 2:45 p.m. session. So that is the first thing that I will say to you about this movie is you cannot go to an evening session of a Disney animated movie. They just don't do them because, for some reason they seem to think that these movies are for children. Where they got that idea from, I don't know. But anyway, so yeah, I had to go in the afternoon. And that, of course, means there were lots of children there. And they were making lots of noise. Now, don't get me wrong, they were actually well behaved for most of the movies, and you can tell that this movie was just a little bit too long because around about 15 minutes from the end is when kids started running up and down the aisle and making a bit of noise, and obviously it was just too long. And I guess that's something that Disney should know, right? An hour and a half is long enough for a movie. Any longer, it's just a waste of time, in my opinion. Actually, for most movies, an hour and a half is all you need. Tell the story, throw in a couple of fights or exciting sequences, resolve it at the end, we're done. Theme song. Hello? I could write a movie. Anyway, so let's go back to Finding Dory. So I'm going to try and make this as spoiler free as possible. However, so the first spoiler is, of course, that there will be children there, so you need to know that. The second spoiler is that and this is very important, if you haven't seen it yet, go to the movie and when the movie finishes, stay and watch the credits and stay to the very end. There is an Easter egg at the end of the credits, which is really good. Well, I thought so. And yeah, so the problem yesterday was we were the only ones who knew that was going to happen. And so we were the only two in the theatre when the Easter egg came on, and us and the ushers cleaning out the place. So it was a bit stink. But it's a good Easter egg, and I highly recommend hanging around. And I don't think this is a new thing, right? I'm pretty sure that Disney and Pixar do this all the time. They did it in Toy Story, I think. I'm sure they did. So I don't know why we were the only ones still there, but anyway. So that's one spoiler I will tell you. Stay there, watch it, it's really good. I'm not going to tell you what it is though. So the story of Finding Dory is that for those of you who have not seen Finding Nemo, and let me point out, you don't actually need to see Finding Nemo in order to watch this movie. It stands on its own. You may not recognize some of the characters, but that's okay. You don't need to know the whole background story. And not all of the characters are in this, and there are some new ones, so that's great, right? So Finding Dory starts off with, I'm not going to tell you how it starts actually, but Dory is a forgetful blue fish. I can't remember what kind of fish she is, but she's blue. And she is forgetful, she has short-term memory loss, and she can't remember where she's from or how she got to where she is or why she's there, but but in this movie she starts remembering things. She remembers her parents and she remembers a place where she thinks she's from. So and it's in California. So of course she has to travel across the ocean to try and find her family, and she ends up in this place in California, which is by a marine park, and the story is all about her trying to get into the marine park because that's where her parents are. And there's I apologise for all the traffic noise in the background. There's some weird people with weird cars around my neighbourhood. Anyway, back to the movie. So it's Nemo and Marlin come with her, and they meet some old friends along the way, and then when they get there they kind of get separated, and So, or on the way there, they get separated. So Dory ends up in the park, Nemo and Marlin are out of the park, and then they kind of try to reconnect, and Dory remembers more and more about where her parents should be, and then she goes in there, and it's quite a complex story involving an septopus, because he only has 7 tentacles, and various people and animals helping them along the way, and their adventures getting in and out of this park. In the end, I'm not going to tell you a spoiler, but the story does end very happily. And for those of you who are thinking that, well, a movie that ends happily when it's about somebody trying to find their parents might mean that they might find their parents, that's a possible outcome of this movie. But I'm not going to say, because I'm not going to give spoilers. I read some reviews before I went to this movie. I tried to do spoiler free, but I'm not really good at it. So there were a few spoilers in the ones, and which is how I knew to stay to the end of the movie. But then the review wasn't actually that great. They said that they didn't think, for example, they didn't understand why Nemo and Marlin had to go with her. Why couldn't they just let her go by herself and introduce some new characters? I thought that was perfectly fine. I liked Nemo and Marlin being in the movie, and I liked that idea of reinforcing their friendship, and what would they do without her if they lost her when they did lose her. So I thought that was actually a good dynamic. So I didn't really get that at all. So I disagree completely. I think they did deserve to be in the movie, and that means that they can sell more merchandise, right? So more Nemo merchandise as well as Dory. I watched it in 3D, and you really don't need to watch it in 3D. I mean, it does make the pictures look quite pretty with a bit of depth perception to the ocean while they're swimming around, but you really don't need to do 3D, just do 2D. And where I come from, that saves you at least $10, right? So if you can watch it in 2D, you're saving yourself $10. Spend that $10 on some ice creams, because that's how much a bloody, sorry for swearing, that's how much an ice cream costs. $4.50, but still it's an ice cream. Anyway, so I really like this movie. I thought it was funny. I thought it was heartwarming. I loved the ending. I loved the adventure in the middle. I really, really, really liked the sea lions. I liked it. I like the characters. So, but as I said, I am a Finding Nemo fan. So if you didn't like Finding Nemo, my second most favorite movie from Disney is Beauty and the Beast. So that was, if you're going to compare things, I would just say the only differences really are, one's got music and the other doesn't, and that's why I like Beauty and the Beast. But Finding Nemo is, my idea of fun, adventure, heartwarming, family values, great for kids and adults alike. There's plenty to keep adults entertained. So I recommend that you go see it. So I need to come up with a new rating system, because that's what YouTube reviewers do. And being a proper YouTube reviewer now, I think it's really important that I come up with my own. So I'm going to say that I need to start a rating system. I'm just going to do 3 stars, right? You can have 1 star where it's just good, 2 stars where it's pretty good, and 3 stars where it's awesome, and 0 stars where they're useless. So I'm going to give this 3 stars. Yeah, and you will find that I'm a pretty black and white. Actually, I'm not even going to bother. Let's just do 3 stars or 0 stars. If it's no good, it's 0, and if it's good, it's 3 stars. So this is a 3-star movie. It's good. Go see it. You'll enjoy it. It's not too long, but it is a little bit long for kids. So if you have kids and you're thinking of taking them, please tell them to keep quiet in that last 15 minutes. And to the man who let his child with the whistle thingy, please don't do that in the future. Anyway, that's enough from me. Go see Finding Dory. I'll have some more review videos and planner videos for you coming up. In the meantime, I'll see you next time. Bye.